I'm Jensen Ackles, and this is The Breakdown. So there was one audition prior to the end of the auditions, which is the big studio network test, which is where you get into a room with about 30 suits, and they all sit there and judge the hell out of you. Luckily, I've become friends with most of those suits now, so we're all good to go, and I'm happy they took the chance with me. But I was currently doing a show that was on air for Warner Brothers and for the WB network at that time, which is not even around anymore. And I had another year in my contract left on. This was Smallville, the old coming of age story of Superman. And I had a 2-year contract on that deal. After my first year, this show called Supernatural came about, and it was coming down the pipe through Warner Brothers, through the CW. And they had, I guess they had me in mind on a short list for one of the leads. And so, and the same with Jared, who was currently doing Gilmore Girls at the time. So there are these two actors that they already had in-house and under contracts that they could utilize. And so they brought the two of us in. We read for the studio and the network, and then that was it. Like, they literally handed us the job in the meeting.
Holy! Where's my brother?
Hey, hold up! How did you?
He's the demon.
Demon?
Kill him!
Whoa, easy, lady. Look, I'm not a demon, okay? I'm one of the good guys. Now stick with me, do what I say, and everybody will get out of here, okay? Everybody.
I think the original tone of the show, we had set out to shoot a weekly horror movie. And you got to remember, this was 15 years ago. So we're talking 2005. This is on the heels of, all the movies coming out like The Grudge and The Ring, and all of these, like, the horror was really making a strong comeback, and people were really into that genre. And so Kripke kind of set out to take what was being really popular in the or was very topical there in the movie theaters and just try to translate that to a smaller screen. And so we knew that was kind of the canvas that we were going to paint this story on, and that's what we set out to do. We had the lore, like these folklore, urban legend type of stories that we were going to attack each week. And along the way, kind of the long lead story would be this relationship with these brothers, and how what strain gets put on that, and how they bond together, and how they get torn apart, and all under this whole horror genre. And so it seemed like it had all the fixings for a really good cocktail. And I remember reading the first script and I was like, oh wow, we might get like a couple of seasons out of this. This is good. And as anybody in television knows, that's a success. You get picked up. You're already, I think at that point, somebody much more data driven and smarter than I am had said that just getting picked up and put on the air was like you were beating 87% of all other shows. Like that, there was an 87% failure rate for all shows made, as far as like, and so I already knew the odds were. We were beating odds just by getting on the air, and I thought, hey, we might actually get some mileage out of this. Little did I know it would go forever.
Do it! You said if you saw him, you would kill me, so do it!
I guess I changed my mind.
I didn't really understand I didn't know what kind of an audience we were reaching until I think it was after season 1. There was a huge UK push for the release of the show, and they did some amazing marketing out there. And I'd flown out there to be a part of this like kind of rudimentary Comic-Con, so to speak, where there was multiple actors and talent from multiple genre shows. And I was the one guy. I don't know why Jared didn't come with me on this one, but I was the lone Supernatural representative. And keep in mind, we'd only been on for 1 season. We just finished. It hadn't even fully aired yet. And I go over to London, and I do this event, and it was me plus maybe 12 other actors from, again, various shows. And the crowd response was like jaw dropping when when I came out for the show. You know, and we're talking like Buffy and Angel and Smallville and all of these, you know, shows that were well established, and a lot of, and people were super hyped up on Supernatural, and that's when my eyes, like, you know, went wide, and I immediately called Jared and I was like, dude, I think people are watching this, and so that's kind of the first moment I noticed that we had that it was reaching an audience, and it was reaching a rabid audience. And that's when I got, you know, I got even more excited about the show.
Real mature.
Keys. Keys now.
I'd say personally, just, I mean, that's, you know, growing up, I was in my mid-20s when I started the show, and now I'm in my, you know, early 40s. Those are some pretty formidable years. I mean, this is basically the majority of my adult life spent on the show. So a lot has happened. I mean, I went to Vancouver when I was, you know, again, in my mid-20s, single, and you know, the world was my oyster at this point. And I had a new show, and I basically put my life in LA on hold. And I was like, see you guys, I'm going to Vancouver to shoot this cool show. Thinking that, you know, in a couple of years, I'd come back and unpause it and get back to life as normal and go hang out with all my friends. And we'd talk about this cool show that I just did. And now I'm, you know, I don't even live in California anymore. I'm married. I've got 3 kids, you know, dad, husband. So a lot has changed personally for me. You know, I've grown as far as, you know, just ideas and my thoughts of life and ideology and all of that kind of stuff is just, as you do, you know, my entire 30s, it's kind of when you find out who you are as a person. And all of that occurred while doing this show. Then from a professional standpoint, you know, the character of Dean, he grew as well. I kind of, you know, I feel like we kind of grew together over the years. And before, he was this kind of, you know, gunslinging, crazy, blue collar, unlikely hero. And I feel like he's always kept that, but it's just matured into a more of a paternal type of situation. You know, he feels, and you'll see that a lot in these final few episodes that we start airing tonight. That he has taken this kind of father figure role, not necessarily to his brother, but I think just in general. And he cares with a love that is more paternal, I feel.
A boy and his blade, and still no match for the new queen.
On screen, I would say probably when I got to do my reverse 180. That was really cool, because they were like, could you do a little stunt driving? Can you do a little, like, a reverse 180? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe. And they're like, well, if you can't do it, then, you know, we'll have Todd do it, stunt double and driver. I was like, well, wait, before you start, you know, just let other people do the things that I want to do, let me try it. So I literally did it, like, tried it over lunch, did it a couple of times, and then we did it on screen. So that's certainly a moment that stands out. Another one would be the episode Baby, which was, I thought, one of the coolest episodes we had ever done. The entire episode was told from, like, the perspective of the car. And I remember we had outfitted, like, you know, 8 cameras in and around and on the car. And then they just sent us off, and Jared and I he'd hopped in and we just took off down the road, and there was no camera operator. There was no grips. There's no electricians. There's no DP, no director, no script supervisor, no makeup, no nothing. I mean, I think at one point I, like, took a terry cloth towel and was, like, dabbing the sweat off of Jared's face. And we had to, you know, we held up the marker and we slated, and Jared had the audio deck between his legs, and he had to turn the audio on. And I mean, we were doing everything ourselves out on the road, out on a highway. And then I just, pick up the walk and be like, okay, guys, we're rolling and here we go. And the crew was just back at base camp, just, waiting to see, hopefully the actors can bring the car back with all their gear. That was certainly a favorite moment. And I'd say one of my other favorite moments just happened the other day. I actually drove the car and put it into my garage right out there.
Woo! Listen to her purr. You ever heard anything so sweet?
If you two want to get a room, just let me know, Dean.
Oh, don't listen to him, baby.
I got asked that, is this emotional? You guys holding it together all right? For me personally, it was, it was just kind of business as usual. I didn't want to put too much pressure, too much strain, or too much thought, or too much emotion into this final season, because I didn't want it to change what we'd been doing for 15 years. And I also didn't want to, foreshadow what was coming ahead. So I just wanted to keep it kind of business as usual, keep my head down, keep doing the work like I've always done, doing the work the way that I've done that's got us to this point. And so I don't know if that was my way of dealing with it, was just suppressing it and just sweeping it under the rug. I mean, maybe I took a page out of Dean's handbook of how to deal with the emotions, but I certainly didn't really get overly emotional about the goodbye and about this being the last, so it's the last first day, it's the last time we're going to drive the car. It's the last time we're going to film in this set. It's the last time I'm going to film a scene with this character. I just kind of kept it professional and tried to keep my eye on the prize and keep steering us towards the finish line. So I kind of feel like it was less a long goodbye and more of the fourth quarter of a Super Bowl game.